welcome back to Desert Smoke Reviews. This is Justin.
Wyatt and Monty.
Tonight we're taking a look at the Gurkha Elegance in Churchill, I believe. This is a really nice Connecticut wrapper. It's very light tan color to it. It's a little lumpy. I've got a couple of stretch marks along a vein here. One very prominent vein that comes out. I don't think it'll be a problem, but we shall see. The seams are done well, very tight, but they're visible. It's kind of a squishy pack for me, but hopefully that won't be too much of a problem as well. I mean, overall, it's a nice looking cigar, but it's definitely a hand-rolled cigar. You can definitely tell that. The aroma off the wrapper is just a very mild tobacco, not a lot coming off of it. But the foot is a very, there's also a nice mild tobacco to it, but to me I get almost like a floral note to it. It's a very pleasant smell, actually. What?
Yeah, beautiful looking stick, big Churchill. Everything about the cigar just booming. But, you know, the aromas, Monty and I were talking about the aromas earlier. This might sound a little weird, but we were both talking about like a wet sand coming off the wrapper. And on the foot, I definitely get that too, like a beach type of sand. It's got that sort of sweetness, floral type of note to it. But I also get maybe just a little bit of leather, something like it, kind of that dark, oily type of aroma, which is bizarre because this is Connecticut. But you know, Monty.
Yeah, good looking cigar. The seams look good. A couple veins, but nothing concerning. The first about half an inch to an inch on mine is pretty darn soft, but I think it'll probably burn through just fine. And on the wrapper, it's almost like a sandy or I hate to use the term, but a dust or a dusty aroma. Not offensive, not bad, you know, but just a little bit of dustiness. And definitely on the foot, it almost smells like we're standing out at the beach, you know, not the salty air, but that wet sand under your toes. It kind of has an aroma that if you've been there, you know what it is. But
Get caught up in the memories.
what's that?
Get caught up in the memories.
It must be the power of suggestion, but I definitely see what you're saying about that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And like Justin said, maybe power of suggestion, because I get a little bit of the floral notes too, but I get a lot of that sandy aroma. So it makes me wonder how it's going to go. But definitely looking forward to it.
Let's get it cut up, lit up, see how it goes.
Maybe we've just been reading a little too much Nicholas Sparks.
I know that's not my problem.
That's why it's issue.
It's amazing the chief you know who Nicholas Sparks is.
I love single flame torches.
They're very precise.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great word for it. You can get that cigar, the tip of that cigar glowing good without destroying the first inch of
Like what
wrapper.
I said, it's gigantic.
That's
Suck
the
down
risk
to
of the
that.
Thunderbird.
Got to be a little bit of a power maniac to enjoy a good cigar lighter.
You know, I get that tape. I don't want to say sandy, but
Yeah, there's something there though.
Something
Like
there,
it's
yeah.
kind of weird. Something very unique, very different for a cigar.
it's actually a pretty dark finish for these, which is again surprising because
Very heavy for a Connecticut.
yeah, maybe it has to do with the filler, but there's something dark and kind of musky. about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it goes.
definitely musky. It's got one little weird V. It's got a runner going down. But
I do too.
I do too.
But not bad, sir.
no, it's pretty good. Not a lot other than it's definitely some mild tobacco, but I was really surprised how heavy it is.
Yeah,
It's a very dark, very heavy finish to it for me.
Something sort of, I hate to say this, but Monty mentioned salt earlier, like salt there, and there is something sort of salty about the finish. And again, we're not drinking anything with salt in it.
I kind of see what you're saying. I don't really pick up salt, but there's definitely
Something savory to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
very savory. Almost, and I've used this term before. Almost like a nice marinade.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting. Let's get into the first third. See if we get any changes, or see how it goes. Well, welcome back. We're about 10 minutes into this Gurkha Elegance, and it's a very, very nice smoke. I'm really enjoying it. Still very mild, but it still has that deep, kind of dark tobacco finish for me. A little bit of slight sweetness is kind of built for me. Uh, the smoke is very thick. I don't want to say creamy, but it definitely has got that essence of creaminess to it. Overall, just very, very nice. Finish is not super long, but it's not real short either. It's performing well. No burn issues. I had that one little V when I first lit it up, but it corrected itself and haven't had any issues since. So far, really enjoying it.
Yeah, I agree. It's really living up to its name for me. You know, it's a good-looking stick. Haven't had any burn issues, and it tastes great. So, my one complaint so far is the ash is really flaky, and I might be a little bit antsy, but I ash it a little bit too soon each time because I'm afraid it's going to collapse all over my lap. But yeah, flavors are good. They haven't changed much, at least for me. Still getting that general Connecticut sort of taste and that musky. I'm going to go with earth. I don't quite want to say sand or dust or anything, but just kind of a general musky earth and kind of a darker, at least dark for a Connecticut tobacco. So it's really good.
Yeah, mine's been real nice. I wouldn't say it's a flaky ash, but it's definitely what I would not call a firm, tight ash. It's just a little loose, so I went ahead and ashed it to get rid of it. I swear mine has developed just a little hint of cinnamon. And not like a hot, spicy cinnamon, like the candy, but, you know, just the spice cinnamon on the finish. It's a real nice medium cinnamon, a nice finish. It's not long, but it's not overly short. But I'm really liking it so far. The burn's been pretty good, nothing worth touching up at all, just a hair off, but not worth messing with. So, really nice.
Well, let's get into the second third, approach to the midpoint. See if we get any changes. Welcome back. We're about halfway on the Gurkha Elegance, and just kind of keeping par for the course. Very nice, mellow smoke. It still has like some deep, dark tobacco in the finish that's uncharacteristic of a Connecticut. So I'm really enjoying that. There's definitely some mild, light sweetness that's kind of building for me. The smoke has kind of gotten more creamy, but it's it's very ample, very thick, and it's definitely on the creamy side. I'm really enjoying it. Mild in strength, mild in body. I think this is a great start of your day smoke. I think it's even good for the end of the day because of that dark tobacco that comes into the finish. It's very uncharacteristic and it's very pleasant, and it really attributes to a nice end of your day. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good cigar, but I kind of wish the flavors would change because we've been talking here as we do, and especially a cigar of this length and this size. The flavors are still pretty much the same, and I know it's a Connecticut, but that first puff I really enjoyed. But all of those flavors have just kind of mellowed out at this point, and I kind of wish that they would reinvigorate my interest in the cigar. Which again isn't to say it's bad. It's actually a very good Connecticut. It's something I would definitely smoke again, but I hope something happens in the second half to kind of reinvigorate my interest. Other than that, the draw's been a little bit tight. I made a couple of little invitations, so hopefully they can open up.
Yeah, I agree. I've really enjoyed this cigar. It's a very mellow, smooth cigar. I still get a little bit of that really mild cinnamon spice on the finish that I was talking about earlier. The burns hold up well. Excuse me. The construction's nice. No cracks. No issues. It's not a powerhouse cigar. It's not complex or anything like that. But it's very nice. It's a very nice smoking experience.
Let's get in the final third, see if we get any changes. Welcome back. We're at the final third of this Gurkha Elegance. No real update on flavors. It's kept pretty much straight par for the course for me. I agree with Wyatt in the sense that It was very simple, very one-dimensional. Never really had any changes. But I mean, it was a good cigar. I really enjoyed it. It's very mellow, very uncharacteristic with that really dark tobacco flavor that I got. I really enjoyed it. I do wish the flavors would have changed because it is a very long, big cigar. So you kind of hope for a little bit of dimension change there. But it was very nice. Always very mild, both in strength and body. I think it's a great morning stick. Afternoon, I can even see it at the end of the day, just because of that one uncharacteristic flavor that you pick up in this cigar that you don't find in most Connecticut's. No real construction issues. A few little burn problems that I touched up in this final third, but overall, very nice stick. If I was going to rate it, I'd give it a 7. Mostly because it is very simple and lacks a little bit of dimension, but overall, very nice stick.
Yeah, I mostly agree. My construction, the burn was always fine, but I'd let the ash go like not even a quarter of an inch, and it would just fall in clumps, and it happened 4 or 5 times to me, and I'm just kind of done at this point. But flavors were always good. I mean, that introductory sort of aroma of that wet sand, the overall flavors of musky type of earth and just kind of that dark Connecticut tobacco. They were always really good, but I wanted something to change, especially, this is a Churchill cigar, and I just kept waiting for something to change, and it just never happened. So I was less than impressed with this one. Like we said before, Gurkha's either hit or miss, and this is that rare cigar that kind of falls into the middle. It's something I'd smoke again, something I'd have rolling around in my humidor, but to me this is more of like Justin said, a morning cigar when you're not really focusing on it. It's not quite a golf cigar, but it's more of a task cigar, at least for me. So overall, yeah, I'd agree with the 7. Something I'd probably smoke again, but not something I'm going to rush out and get.
I'd agree with what both the guys said. To me, it's maybe just a little bit much for a morning cigar. This last little bit, the burn got off a little bit, and the flavors, I don't know if it's because it's the end of the cigar or what, but they got a little bit more intense. I think we mentioned earlier, I think we did on camera, that there was almost like a savory note to it, and that's kind of, it went away, and I got some cinnamon, and now it's kind of come back in about the last half inch of the cigar I've smoked. But it's just not a great cigar. It's a good cigar, like the guys are saying. Again, I would go with the 7, like Justin said. What'd you rate it?
7.
7, yeah. So it's a 7 all around for all of us. I enjoy Connecticut's a lot, probably more so than most people. And I've been smoking cigars for a solid 10 years now, and I still like a lot of good Connecticut's. And I would keep a few of this around. I wouldn't make it a big point to always have them. Yeah, it's 7.
Yeah, with Connecticut's, and I know Wyatt and I did a review, one of my favorite Connecticut's is that Man o' War Virtue. That is a kind of an uncharacteristic Connecticut as well. It's got a kind of a spicy kick to it. It is really good. So if you're looking for a Connecticut and you're looking for some a little more robust flavors, I would look for that one.
Or the Royal Challenge.
Or the Royal Challenge.
Also
That
by
one's
Gurkha.
a very traditional Connecticut. It's very creamy, very buttery. That is an excellent cigar if you want the more traditional Connecticut. It's that Gurkha Royal Challenge. You won't find a better Connecticut by Gurkha than that one. But in conclusion, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, smoke them if you got them.